Hoping that my sound is okay. Hey guys, it's Quana, and I am here reacting to the Oscar nominations. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Hello and hey Burgundy, how are you doing, love? I hope you are okay over in your neck of the woods. I know we're getting ready for this winter weather that they say we're having, winter weather in quotation marks. Because I don't know if I trust it, but they're saying we're gonna get ice. So but I'm really excited. I think I kind of have a love-hate with the Oscars, it is all subjective. You know, people don't, do what they need to do in order to really diversify who gets the awards. But, if nothing else, it was opportunity to watch Danielle Brooks and Lewis Pullman give the nominations. Danielle Brooks, she deserves all the flowers in the world. I love her down so bad. And Lewis Pullman, like, I love that he is, first of all, he stole his daddy's whole face. Let's talk about that, okay? Stole his daddy's whole entire face, this man did. And I love that he's, continuing the legacy, because Bill is great. We love Bill. We love his daddy. We love Lewis. We love his daddy. He's one of my favorite of the Nepo babies. He's one of my favorites of the Nepo babies. So if you're watching this, you might already know about the nominations. And I was tempted during my lunch break to get on social media. And I was just like, I don't want any spoilers. I don't want any spoilers whatsoever. So this is going to be me reacting. I'm not going to be able to play the whole video because I don't know if I will get a YouTube strike for playing the whole video, but I will put up the screens as I'm watching it, as I freeze on the nominations. Okay. And I'm watching the joint one with the Oscars and ABC. They kind of have like a joint presentation, and it has the ASL interpreter because we love to see a good ASL interpreter. So I'm going to put that in the chat, and I'll also put the link for the version that I'm looking at because I am not reacting to anyone else's. I am simply reacting. Now, I guess really quickly, what I need to say is I did not do a top 10 list for the year because I am still making my way through some of the movies I didn't get a chance to watch last year. Last year was a good year for me watching movies, but I did not get a chance to document every movie that I watched. So needless to say, my favorite movie of the year was Sinners. I am a nerd and I love Black cinema. First and foremost, I'm like Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everybody Black. But aside from that aside, I love any movie that does just a phenomenal, first of all, original cinema. We don't get enough of it. We complain about it so much, and we don't get enough opportunities to see original cinema. And then when we get it, we don't give it the love and appreciation that we should. I'm gonna just make sure my sound is okay. What's happening? Okay, let's see if this is. Is it not? It's not letting me click on the video. And so I'm hoping that you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if you can't. But anyway, as I was trying to say, we don't give original cinema enough shine and support. But anyway, as I was trying to say, there we go. So as I was trying to say, we don't give original cinema enough shine and support. So first of all, already original cinema you have a win with me. And then when you have a story that has so much history embedded into it and uses multiple medias to its full effect, music and sound and things of that nature, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it all day. Now, that said, Sinners is my number one for the year. And eventually I will make a longer video about One Battle After Another, because I've been sitting on my feelings around that for a while. And I watched it again, and I've also listened to a couple of video essays around it. And I still have a problem with the execution. And I think a story can be for a certain demographic. But for me, as a Black woman watching it from a Black female frame of mind, I just can't. I'm not there with it yet. Pause and hello, Leslie. Thank you for listening to me while you are at work. I appreciate it. I will try not to be too loud as to not blow up your spot. Okay. But there were so many. It was a good year for film. Let's just say that. It was a good year for film. So my number one pick of the year is Sinners. Followed probably by Hamnet. I did thoroughly enjoy No Other Choice. I do think that while I did not enjoy the totality of One Battle After Another, I definitely do think that it should get some acting nominations, because for what the roles were, I thought that Sean Penn did an excellent job. Leo was very much a non-entity in that film for me. I almost kind of forgot he was in the movie. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm not even going to lie. Regina Hall never gets the attention that she should get. I 100% felt like she should have gotten something for Honk If You Love Jesus. That was a phenomenal role for her. And if it were up to me, I would restructure a lot of the categories of the Oscars anyway. But let's just get into it. It's 18 minutes. It's not that long. So we're going to listen to the nominations. And I'm going to be skipping through a little bit because I don't know who this movie is. Okay. So, oh, Danielle looks so good in this red dress. Pause. Let me share my screen with y'all. Danielle looks absolutely phenomenal in this red dress. I just wanted to pause and show that. Look at how good she looks. She looks fantastic. Lewis looks like he needed to call Coleman Domingo, okay, just to get his outfit together. But I'm gonna trust and believe that he's gonna have himself together for the red carpet, okay? So everybody right now, if you were planning to go to the Oscars, if you are an actor and for whatever reason someone shares this video with you, please put in your phone calls now to Coleman Domingo, especially if you are a man, and let him get you right. Please and thank you. Okay. Back to this. All right. So we have Danielle here. We have Louis here. Yes, she was nominated. Did a I really hope that eventually people go back to musical and give it some love, because I think people mistakenly didn't realize it's a Broadway play and just did not give it a chance. And I think it's one of those things that once people get more familiar with the musical, they will enjoy it. So these are nominees for actress in a supporting role. You have Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. Get it, Elle. Can we talk about Elle being a child actress who has just bloomed? Inga Lilius for Sentimental Value, Amy Madigan for Weapons, Wumi Masako for Sinners. Wait. We have to go back to that. And Tiana Taylor for One Battle After Another. This is almost exactly, and I don't know if you can see this, almost exactly. This is almost exactly what the nominations were for the Golden Globes. It is a 1-for-1. I am not going to say Amy Madigan did not do a good job in Weapons, but that movie was so overhyped, and her role to me felt like such a caricature. And it really is hard to play an evil villain in a horror movie. I'm not going to hold you. But it really, I think because they introduced her so late into the film that we didn't get a chance to kind of have like that big reveal moment. When we met her, we knew that something was wrong. We didn't get a chance to like really breathe with her character before it was revealed who she was. And I think if they had done that with her role a little bit more, I would appreciate her performance more. But as it is, it just felt so comical, but not in a satisfying way for me, because I was really disappointed in Weapons. But I think these are great choices. Sentimental Value is a very good film, so I cannot take anything away from any of those nominations. I would have, I think, preferred to see Tiana Taylor and Regina Hall get a nomination for One Battle After Another, even though I don't love that movie. But Woomy is here. And I just adore that for her. I just adore that for her. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue. But we got to give it up. Nominees for makeup and hairstyling. Okay, my guess is going to be Hamnet, um, Frankenstein, and Sinners, and of course Wicked for Good. Let's see if I'm right. So we have Frankenstein, Kakua, Sinners, The Smashing Machine. Wait, pause, pause. Okay, wait, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. That was shocking to me. That's shocking. The Smashing Machine. The Smashing Machine. Do you guys see this? The Smashing Machine. I can't even. Okay. Okay, that was naive of me to say Wicked for Good, because Wicked for Good and Wicked were filmed simultaneously. And I do think that that is a hindrance, because even though they are framed as two separate works, it is very much the Oscars awards the filmmaking process, and it was filmed at the same time. So it does make sense that it couldn't get a makeup and hairstyling nomination when they just won for Wicked. So that does make sense. I wasn't thinking with my industry insider big girl hat on. The Ugly Stepsister. I'm not going to hold y'all. If y'all have AMC or Shudder, go watch The Ugly Stepsister. I need to do a review. I didn't do a review. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do a review of that. That absolutely does deserve a nomination, at least. The Smashing Machine. If I sound perplexed to you, I kind of am. I very much am. I'm very perplexed. Okay, where are we? Well, that was makeup and hairstyling. I guess I shouldn't be. I mean, The Rock was unrecognizable. Original score. We already know Ludwig is going to win this. Okay, Begonia, Frankenstein. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I don't remember anything about the score from Frankenstein. So what we have here is Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Sinners. This is Ludwig's award to lose, because I just don't think one of the worst mistakes in the Academy's history is that The Color Purple, the original The Color Purple, 1985's The Color Purple, got 11 nominations and did not win one. And that could be, there's an argument that could be made for a lot of things with that movie. But the fact that it did not get an Oscar for score, and Quincy Jones, And if you haven't watched The Color Purple, because I know a lot of people just kind of lump it in with like trauma, um, but if you haven't watched it or you haven't watched it again, go back and listen to The Color Purple, because not only the music of The Color Purple, but the score, the leitmotifs. I've always wanted to do a video essay about The Color Purple and the leitmotifs, which is the songs that are associated with characters, or the music that's associated with certain characters. And the idea that when you have the main character of Celie and you have her sister Nettie, and pretty much any person who actually genuinely loves Celie, they're associated with the sound of tinkling of bells. It's like a hope mechanism. When she's waiting for the mail to come, there's the bells on the mail truck. When she's with Suge Avery and Suge accepts her and they love each other, there's the tinkling of the wind chimes, or the bells on her bed, the wind chimes when her sister Nettie arrives at the end of the movie. It is just absolutely beautiful. And the fact that that movie did not at least get an Oscar for that is criminal. I mean, criminal to the point where I literally want to sue the Academy. Okay, I'm sorry. That so if and Sinners is that. Sinners is the only album and score that I've listened to this year that when I'm listening to it, I cry almost every time. Almost every time. When you listen to the music that plays when Smoke goes to see Annie, it's called Seance. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's continue. Best live action short film. Okay. I always hate it because I never get opportunity to watch all of the short films before the nominations. So this is one category that I usually do get a chance to watch after nominations. So we have Butcher's Stain, A Friend of Dorothy, Jane Austen's period drama, Singers, and Two People Exchanging Saliva. Well then, let me put that on the screen just so that if you want to get a shot of that and know what it is that you need to watch in the live action short category, you can be prepared. Okay. So these are the films we need to watch in terms of live action short films. Okay. And it's just always so hard to keep up with the shorts because there's so many shorts that get released and you have no way of knowing like what is getting Oscar consideration. So now we have animated short film, Butterfly, Forever Green, The Girl Who Cried Pearls, Retirement Plan, and The Three Sisters. And I do think I saw Butterfly. That is one of the few shorts that I've seen. Hey, Darfalina. How are you doing? It's so good to see you. Look, when I tell you, first of all, I was supposed to do this at 4 o'clock, and then I didn't leave work in time, and I had to change the time before I left. And then I didn't think traffic was going to let me get here, but I'm here now, and we're just discussing all the nominations. I'm seeing this in real time. I have not seen any of these. So I'm good. I'm slowly making my way back, friend. I'm slowly making my way back. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna figure it out. I've got this on my vision board for this year of trying to be able to do this more effectively and seriously. So I'm gonna make my way back soon, friend. I promise. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. The Latino slant came through and gave a $5. I appreciate you so much. What am I happy about? Not so happy about this year's noms. Keep up the great reviews. I just started. I haven't gotten all the way through the noms yet. So we're gonna see. I'm happy so far. I do want to see I want to see Benicio get nominated because for Best Supporting Actor. So I haven't seen it yet. I haven't gotten to that part of the show yet, but that's what I do want to see because he was the best. My favorite part of One Battle. I had a lot of issues with One Battle, but he was my favorite part of One Battle. because he's attractive. He's an attractive man. But I'm not really that surprised by anything really. I feel like this so far, it's very tame. It's very tame. But you have been doing it over there, sir. I appreciate you. All right, so let's continue with the nominations. I hate this back and forth, but I don't want to take the risk of them being like flag on the play. Adapted screenplay. So we know one battle is going to get in there. Frankenstein should, I would think. Begonia. Okay, I'm not surprised by that at all. Hamnet. Okay, Chloe Zhao. We knew one battle was going to get there. Paul Thomas Anderson. And Train Dreams. Oh, I'm glad to see Train Dreams get some love. Okay. Let me put that on here. So here are the nominations for adapted screenplay. I'm not surprised by any of these. If you've never seen the film that Begonia is based on, you usually can. I know it's like I can't remember the full name of the movie right now, but it's like something Green Planet, and I watched it. It's very trippy. So I do think it was adapted well, even though it's different from the original, but I thought it was adapted well. Train Dreams is a masterpiece, unlike OBAA. I am going to do a video on OBAA because I haven't. And I really have been, I'm put it on record here and say, I did all the things I needed to do to try to get with that film. And to me, it has elements of something that could have been interesting, but can I be truthful here? Okay. It really does feel like someone who never has been involved who's never been involved in any revolutionary work, any community building work, any radical change work, trying to take on a text that explores that and not understanding that messaging and how it was going to play out on screen, especially once you go race swapping the characters and changing the setting. That's my quick take. That's my quick take. He said, thank you for looking forward to it. Okay. And Leslie said this is a safe, honest place. That's my quick take on one battle after another. Train Dreams. Was yeah. I can watch Train Dreams way more. And I feel like once people really get into it, it's so heartfelt and so honest. And I think that's the other thing is that one battle after another, it didn't feel completely honest, even if I'm trying to believe that it's really about a father and a daughter. It didn't even feel honest in that way. That's another quick take that I have about it. Okay, so what's next? So next we have probably original screenplay. Oh, okay, Blue Moon. It was just an accident. And okay, another one I have to cover. It was just I'm not. Am I surprised? I'm surprised because they have been doing a lot to suppress. It was just an accident. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and then Sinners. And then Sinners. Yeah. If Sinners didn't get on here, I was going to turn the tables. It was not going to be pretty. It was not going to be pretty. I was going to turn the tables. So we have original screenplay, Blue Moon. It was just an accident. I'm surprised that it was just an accident got in there because I feel like it has been heavily suppressed. Marty Supreme, I shouldn't be surprised. The Academy loves Josh Safdie, loves the Safdie brothers. Marty Supreme just doesn't feel like it's doing anything new. It wasn't a bad movie at all. So if people are saying it's trash, it's not trash. Even Timothy's performance, it's not trash, it's just not new. So in a year where you do have people doing stuff that feels new, it just doesn't feel new. It's like when you were a student and you go and you were a student in an honors class, and then you get bumped up to AP, and now you might not be an A student no more because everybody is at their best. You might be a B student. You might be an A minus student now. You might have had the highest grade in the class, and now you don't. That's what that feels like to me. Sentimental value. And now, if you want to talk about father-daughter dynamics and relationship, that's the movie that did that conversation the best. And then Sinners, absolutely not surprised. Let me find out Christopher Nolan's hard work actually was recognized, because he was campaigning for this. Actor in a supporting role. Yes, Benicio. Yes. Okay. Because we're gonna give it to somebody. Jacob Elordi and Frankenstein. Delroy Lindo. Okay. Delroy Lindo. Oh my gosh. Okay, wait. I have to. Yeah. I'm so flushed. I'm so flushed. Look at this list. This is a hard category because one battle after another. A lot of people want to argue about how much of an ensemble Sinners is, but to me, Sinners is not really as much of an ensemble, although people had a lot of weight to it and a lot of connective tissue. Sinners is Michael B. Jordan and Miles Canton, and then you have Delroy Lindo, and then everyone else. But one battle after another, if you take out the stuff with Sean Penn, you lose half the movie. If you take out the stuff with Leonardo, you have the other half of the movie, and then everyone else is maybe 20 minutes of movie left. So there are only because he's the villain. To me, Sean Penn is just as much of a lead, but Delroy and Jacob Elordi, I don't even be liking Jacob Elordi like that. I try not to. But can we talk about this man's trajectory from Kissing Booth to Euphoria to like leading man? Okay. He was, I love Guillermo del Toro. I absolutely love that man. Pan's Labyrinth was life-changing for me when I saw it in the theater. I cried. I cried buckets seeing that movie. I personally didn't love Frankenstein only because I teach Frankenstein. And so for me, it has been really a hard climb to get his vision. But I will say this, only the Victor stuff. I thought the stuff that he did with the creature, if you want to call him Adam, you can call him Adam. I thought that part of the film, while some people didn't like the pace of it, it was so true to the source material. And he was so vulnerable and so heartbreakingly beautiful and yet grotesque at the same time. It's just the duality of that was just spot on. And Jacob Elordi ate that up. So I'm not mad at that. Delroy Lindo, that monologue that he delivers in the car in Sinners. What you say, Leslie? Delroy better win though. And listen, Skellen, I appreciate this man's contributions to the world. This man has had some super stuff in him that has contributed some marvelous talents into the world. But I need Delroy Lindo to win because that man continuously delivers in so much. And so much of what I loved about Sinners was off of the strength of his performance. Oh my gosh. You talking about some Skellen, okay? all he producer winners. All he knows, he said, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Okay. This is the one category that while Delroy better win, though, going back to what Leslie said, I can't say I would be upset. This is where I think true cinephiles, this category right here, you can't really take anything away from any of these men's performances this year. My gut. That's some good stuff right there. Okay, Oscars. You did that one. Danielle said, "Oh my God, that was so exciting." And it was. Okay, so more nominations and they're going to go away. And what are we going to see next? They're taking a break. It continues. Why are we taking a break? Why are we taking a 10-minute break? Is this the first one back? Casting? Casting, the first new Oscar category in 25 years. Hamnet, I can see that because one, them kids were acting in Hamnet. The Secret Agent. Okay, well, we knew Sinners was going to get it off of the strength of them finding Miles Canton, because yes, that man has been doing music for a little while, but he's young. But to find someone who sings like they have literally the ancestors in their vocal cords, and then he acted the way that he acted in that movie, amazing. But I'm gonna tell you, those kids in Hamnet were so good. To me, the standout for Marty Supreme because was Odessa, and one battle after another. Chase Infinity. At first I was not really vibing with her performance. In the last 15 minutes of that movie, I felt like she really locked into what she needed to do for that performance. But if I'm just going off of like the casting, in my opinion, what I would be thinking about in this category is what new talent did these casting agents find that's going to I was trying, Darfalina, you know me, we had this conversation already. I was trying to be kosher without saying too much. So now, we here. But I think how I would pick the winner for this category is which casting director found the best new talent that's going to breathe new life into cinema, and who's going to maybe have a flourishing career beyond this. Yeah, I could see it going either way. While I want it to be Sinners, also the fact that they managed to cast Haley Steinfeld and then she found out that she was basically the same percentage of Black as her character, just in happenstance, like that's kismet. But okay, I'm not mad at anyone in this category. It could go either way, and I would be okay with it. Costume design. Okay, let's want to see if my Wicked for Good theory that I realized earlier came to pass. Avatar, Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners. Pause. I don't know if any of y'all know this, so please let me know this. So costume design. The behind the scenes stuff for Avatar, Fire and Ash. And I'm gonna be honest as a critic. I'm always gonna keep it 100. So I have not watched Fire and Ash. I did not watch Way of Water. I think I was so perturbed by the idea that I remember James Cameron very distinctly talking about creating Avatar and it being this singular, beautiful, wonderful experience with this new technology and like being a one and done. So then when he came back, I could not understand what more story he wanted to tell. And I just was like, I'm not really super invested. Also, I've been kind of off Zoe for a little bit because she continues to do stuff, and and I'm still not 100% settled in my spirit about when she came back later and she tried to say after the fact that when they did that, Lord, what is that movie that they did last year? That movie they did last year, I don't forgot the name of it now, and she tried to say that the movie was not about Mexico, so it didn't matter if it was filmed in Mexico, and it didn't matter if they got the Mexican representation correct. And I'm just like, you can say that as artists, it is your responsibility to learn about culture, to learn about the director's vision, and to represent both. Emilia Perez, thank you, because my brain was stopped. You can kind of way to say, I would like actors to be able to perform in anything that they choose. And as long as they are doing it with the utmost respect to the culture, if it's from a real culture, the person, if it's a real person, and the director's vision, that I would hope that they would do that authentically. But when I saw the clip where she literally said, it wasn't about Mexico, even though a big portion of it is like the cartel, the disappearance of people, and all of those different things, I just was like, I'm gonna have to sit on this because something in my shanana is just not feeling good on old girl. So by the time Fire and Ash came around, and then she was calling her character racist after the characters colonized, I was just like, I can't. So I'm gonna be honest, I have not seen any of the stuff with Fire and Ash, but I was under the impression that there were no real costumes in that movie, and that all of that is like them with the dots all over their bodies and wearing the suits. So I'm just wondering, what is the costume design? Because that feels like more of animation. I'm gonna need somebody to help me understand that. But for the rest of this category, now with Hamnet, I'm kind of over British, and I teach British, y'all. I teach British lit. Disclaimer: I teach British lit. I'm kind of over us giving costume design for British period pieces because the archives are so huge with that it feels like sometimes they don't have to do quite as much work in order to draw from inspiration. So that terrible movie. So I'm not mad at Hamnet getting this nomination, but I don't think that they should win. Ruth E. Carter, as Dr. Lee said, Ruth E. Carter is now the Black woman with the most Oscar nominations, and and so I definitely would say that this should be a battle between Frankenstein and Sinners, and I'm not sure how many awards Kate Hawley has, but I can't take, even though Frankenstein, the costumes are not coming from the right time period as the actual novel, they're drawing inspiration from what Del Toro wanted to see on the screen. And I think that was effective. So I'm not going to knock that. I'm not going to knock that at all. Sinners, though, I love Ruth. I love Ruth down bad. She's amazing. She's wonderful. So yeah, that's where I am right now with all of that. All right. So after achievement, amusement. Uh, achievement, achievement in music with original song is what Danielle just said. Amelia Perez was Latinx trash. I said it. Why are you going to get me back on this topic? The music was horrible. It felt like, it felt like they were making, and the people who wrote the music for that have written good music before. I don't understand. And it was, as someone who has Caribbean family, like Hispanic family members, like Hispanic music, like you got so many different musical styles that they could have drawn from that. They didn't even draw from that. Why didn't that man make that movie in France? Why did that man not make that movie in France? Why did that man not make that movie in France? What was the point of placing it in Mexico and making the characters supposed to be Mexican? We know they're not all played by Mexicans, but they're supposed to be Mexican. And a Mexican American. Selena Gomez was like the only authentic representation in that movie. Why did they not just make it in France? Because you French and you doing all this stuff, and the musical style's not even. I can't. It put it, bury it under the ground, bury it under the earth, put it under the jail. I digress. Lord, Diane Warren. Who did Diane nominate? Music and lyric by Diane Warren. Golden from I Lied to You. Sweet Dreams of Joy from Viva Verde, and Train Dreams from Train Dreams. Now listen, the thing that kind of ticks me off about this category is in this category, they have double nominations for the same film before, and I don't understand why Sinners is only being nominated for I Lied to You. It's like people don't use their ears and that they didn't listen to The Last Time I Seen the Sun, because I don't understand how you can listen to that song and when that woman gets to the first beat drop in the song and your throat doesn't close up with like emotion and tears, because I Lied to You. And that dance sequence, can you picture if they let them perform that on stage and if they recreate the dance sequence? But this time, because everybody from the Oscars is there, what if they incorporate even more ancestral like homages, because to represent the people who were in the room, like welcome to Smoke In, to Smoke In, and Stacks joint basically, and they incorporate more. I'm just having a vision. But I just don't understand how you listen to that song and you don't, like, your throat don't close up with emotions. But I fear it's going to be Golden. And Golden is not a bad song. As someone with 3 kids, listen. We have watched K-pop Demon Hunters at least 5 times in this house, I feel. So Golden is not a bad song. I'm gonna keep it right there. Let's see. Regarding songs, they do that a lot. RRR's Not To won best song, and a few years ago was not the best song in that film. It was not. It definitely was the most popular, and I guess because it gives that viral moment, like of seeing the dancing and everything, that was the one that went viral. So you're 100% correct. Like I Lied to You was from that beautiful moment, and it's great. And then it's a great song, but it's just something about when I'm listening to the soundtrack and I get to Last Time I Seen the Sun, when I tell you I'll be driving and I'm crying, and I know the people sitting are like, is this girl, is she all right? Is she in the car driving and crying at the same time? Yes. And I cannot help but think about Ryan and Michael's relationship with Chad and feel like they were giving that to Ludwig and saying, can you use this as fuel? Any thought Materialist deserved score nominations? I just don't think there was a place for Materialist this year to get any kind of real attention, simply because it was a film that just came and went, and because the film itself wasn't meaty enough to can be considered a standout in any kind of way, even from, like, with the Academy, you either have to go super popular and be on everybody's tongue, or be super indie. And Materialist just wasn't either one of those. It was just a run-of-the-mill romance film. It just wasn't. So I think because of that, because it's not doing any of those things, even as it gets nominated, or not get nominated, but even if they do this for your request, or for your considerations, it just wasn't going to get any attention. It just wasn't. It did well, but I just think by the, like, literally even the discourse from female fans who should have clamored at that movie, because you have literally Chris and you have Pedro, who is like daddy number one and daddy number two. It was just okay. So I just don't think it was going to ever get that attention. If you look at this category, you've got these. Diane Warren's going to get a nomination every year. We just got to go ahead and permanently, until she passes, permanently engrave her name on this category, because she's going to get a nomination every year. It don't matter. Y'all didn't even probably know that y'all probably didn't even know Diane Warren Relentless was a thing. She's going to go back and look. She's going to have a nomination every year. They just need to permanently engrave it. So really that leaves only 4 spots. Now for score, I don't think the Materialist score was doing enough in a movie that was just, wasn't a fan of Sinners, but let's go Ryan and crew. I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Okay. I was a fan, but that's just me. That's just because I immediately was like, it was ticking all of my little nerd girl boxes. Funny as Materialist made a lot of, yeah, I mean, I think it did well enough. And it was like, it also came, I felt like it came at a point in the year where now we're starting to see more, like, I think, attention to romance. Romance is always a lucrative genre. So is horror, but it just, even the people who should have loved that did not get it. No Marty for score either. Did Marty get score? Marty didn't get score, did they? I have to go back and remember, but I think you're right. I think you're right. Okay, so we're a little more than halfway through. Probably not. Best documentary feature. Alabama Solution. Is Come See Me in the Good Light, Come to Rocks. Okay, this is what I wanted to talk about: The Perfect Neighbor. So, best documentary feature film: The Alabama Solution, Come See Me in the Good Light, Cutting Through Rocks, Mr. Nobody Against Putin, Perfect Neighbor. Documentary is another one of those categories that usually after there's so many documentaries each year, and I don't get to all of them. And I tend to watch a lot of documentaries that are very much about film. So if they're not about film, I typically wait until the nominations to figure out which ones. Of course, everybody and their mama saw The Perfect Neighbor. I'm glad that that's here. Once I watch the other document, I'm not going to say whether I think it should win. However, I will say this, if for nothing else, if it being here can get more attention to some of the problems that exist with these people making these false calls to 911 and the police and all of the different things, and it can help those babies who had to witness their mama get killed, then I love it. I have to watch the other ones in this category to just know, like, as a film, is it deserving? But it definitely did something that I had. It was completely original in the way that they were just using the police body cam footage. So I thought that that was taking out all the emotions and the fact that I sobbed like a baby when I watched that. That was very creative way to tell that story, and to tell it in such a way where it was like, we're not telling you what to think until you get to the end. And I had no clue about the stories. So when I watched it, it was the first day that released, and I'm watching it from beginning to end. I'm getting mad in real time, but I had no idea it was going to result in the actions that it did. So just from a filmmaking perspective, that one stands out to me. Thoughts on Eternity. I liked Eternity, and it has Divine Joy Randolph in it. I love Divine Joy Randolph. That alone. Elizabeth. I'm surprised more people didn't talk about Eternity, kind of like reheating loosely, just a little bit, reheating the nachos of what is the movie with Meryl Streep and Albert Brooks? Defending Your Life. It felt very much Defending Your Life-ish, one of my favorite comedies of all time. But Divine Joy Randolph, again, it could be a bad movie. She's going to be the best part of the movie. Lizzie she's gonna be solid every time, even if the script is horrible. She's gonna be solid every time. Yeah, The Perfect Neighbor struck a lot. Like, I was not prepared. I don't know how. I loosely remembered the story, but I didn't connect the two when we were watching it. And when it got to the end, I was like, I know not. I know you are a MFing liar. I forgot about Eternity. I need to find it. Divine Joy Randolph is just amazing. She really is. And I was watching something the other day, and I can't remember what it was, but it was an older film, and I did not realize she was in it. And I was like, girl, we knew you longer than we knew you. I didn't even know we knew you this long. You've been around for a while. So I absolutely adore her. Um, all right, so that's documentary film. Danielle Brooks looks amazing. This hair is killing me. All the I saw that one. Arm camera, the children no more work. Apple is busy. Now listen, don't watch, don't watch unless you have heard it. And again, just like with short film, this is something that I do have to like go back and watch, because I don't get screeners for some of the like more of the short films. So I watch after the nominations, but I did see all the empty rooms. Um, don't watch all the empty rooms unless you have like done some breathing exercises, because of course it's like about visiting these rooms of the children who um over all of these school shootings have lost their lives, and like their rooms are still basically the same, have not been touched because their parents have left them almost as shrines. um and I'm a teacher. Why did y'all let me why did somebody let me watch that? Honestly, I thought Gwyneth could have gotten a supporting nom. uh, okay, Best international film. I'm like that. It's just an accident. Okay. Value well. These are the choices. Yeah. Mhm. Okay. You know what? I'm not mad at any of these. I kind of wish No Other Choice was on here, but these are all good picks. Brazil has been doing the thing. Um, they have been doing the thing, but these are all good choices. I do feel like Sentimental Value has been getting more of a PR push, but the voice of Hind Rajab, if that were to win, given the state of the world and media, I would be shooketh to my core. I would be shooketh to my core. I'm just going to say that. Um, I watched Empty Rooms. It was devastating. What? Devastating. Okay, I was just informed on Empty Rooms. Devastating. 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 Oh my gosh. Devastating. Yes. Best animated feature film. Okay, I'm gonna call. I paused it. My predictions are Arco, um, Elio, maybe. K-pop Demon Hunters. That one from France that I can't think of the name of. Those are my four that I'm thinking. Arco. I got one. I got one. Elio. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I didn't. Right there, little Zootopia 2. Okay, I was gonna say Zootopia 2, but I was like, maybe not Zootopia 2 because it just came out in November. So I didn't know if it was gonna have had the time to really like push it and promote it. But I was like, I've been seeing Elio come across my now we watched Elio in the theater. Elio, good, nice animation, good story, all the things. But I was like, I've been seeing it pop up a lot on my feed. So I was like, they're really trying to put this in front of people, which means Elio's getting some love. I knew it was going to be Arco and K-pop Demon Hers. I felt pretty good about that, but I was not expecting to get it in that order, y'all. Arco, Elio, K-pop Demon Hers. I said the French movie. I can't remember the name. Little Amelie or the character of Rain, because I was going to say Amelie, but I because it's the whole thing. And then Zootopia 2, which someone said to me they just watched Zootopia 2 and it felt like it was just reheating the nachos of Zootopia 1, which valid. Um, Short form, Zootopia is segregation and Zootopia 2 is genocide. That's how you can remember the two. That's what I figured out. Which of these is going to win? Animated film, the category and the people who vote for it are really art house, and none of these Disney movies really kind of like knocked it out the park. So I could, I don't feel like I feel like they only give it to Disney when Disney really knocks it out the park. And Elio was good, but I don't feel like any of these were like, oh my gosh, like outstanding, like it's just gonna be that thing. So I think if there's a chance that they don't want to give best original song to K-pop Demon Hunters, it will definitely get it in animated feature. But in terms of artistic style and the animation itself, I feel like Arco has a good shot and it's a good story, but a lot of people haven't watched it. So it really will depend on a lot of people who vote. Like it's they're voting for their friends, or they're voting for the art style, or they're voting for what they've seen. And what does everybody have? if you got kids or grandkids, you're behind saw K-pop Demon Hunters. And when it's time to vote, you might be like, I don't know none of these, but I saw that K-pop thing, and you check your little box. So we'll see what happens. My vote is going to be, I think it's going to go K-pop Demon Hunters, but if it's more art style, then I would say Arco. Okay, y'all. You said Utopia 2 was not real. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. My kids actually really enjoyed it. It wasn't as bad as I wasn't going to see. It wasn't bad, but it didn't do anything new. Okay, so we got production design real quick. We're not going to spend too much time on this. I'm going to just tell y'all what my absolute thoughts are. We've got Frankenstein, we've got Hamnet, we've got Marty Supreme, we've got One Battle After Another, and we've got Sinners. If we're talking about production design, I think that they will give it to Frankenstein. Sinners is my second choice. Because we're just thinking about the production itself, like the sets and everything. What is more memorable? If I'm thinking of each image and between production and cinematography, I'm thinking about the sets and I'm thinking about each image being like this piece of artwork. And I feel like that's going to be Frankenstein or Sinners, because I cannot remember anywhere. One Battle After Another, I don't remember what anything looked like in that movie. Everything just looked dirty and like deserty, like it was covered in dust. So those are my two picks for production design. Let me know what y'all thought, because I that's I don't think it's Frankenstein is going to get a lot of love anywhere else. One Battle After Another, value. Um, film editing. F1 found its way in there somehow, and the bare minimum, I think that I could see them giving it to F1 just because it's a big blockbustery movie that a lot of people just enjoyed going to see. And if nothing else, you get, if it doesn't get any other nominations, you have an excuse to have Brad Pitt in the room. So I think it's going to get it. Are you talking about, you believe Taraji was snubbed for at least a nomination? Do you mean last year for The Color Purple, the musical? Because I mean, she wasn't in anything this year deserving of a nomination. And I know you're not talking about Straw. Because if you're talking about Straw, I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry. Was we're not on acting yet, so we're not going to talk about that. I doubt if her name was even in the contention. You're talking about Straw. Okay. We're gonna circle back to that. F1 for the wins. F1 for the wins. F1 was cinematic blast and great sports story. Should win editing and sound. Yeah, I cannot knock that. Like seeing it here, it's like, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. You want to, and you don't want your, I mean, if I'm thinking about the Oscars as also an industry, a business, a museum, all the things, they definitely have to make sure that they continue to award these big blockbusters, because that's what keeps the lights on, baby. That's what keeps these studios afloat, so that they can continue to make the art house style things. And it was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't a bad movie at all. It was a good movie. So I definitely think editing and sound, absolutely, absolutely. I haven't seen acting. I'm not going to say Taraji. I don't know if she's on there. It might be surprised. It might be a surprise. But baby, that movie was so universally panned in terms of the critics and everything, that I don't even see a world in which Tyler could have even submitted it, passed around copies. And also, there is a requirement for films to be released in theaters, and that wasn't released in theaters. So there wasn't, like, not even limited release. And Tyler does play the game when he thinks he has a shot to play the game. He, like for Color Girls, he played the game. But I don't see Tyler wanting to play the game, because then more eyes and attention are going to be on the craft, and there's going to have to answer more questions. So I don't think Taraji could have gotten a nomination. As much as she was pulling from her guttural trauma in that performance, it just the writing around her did not let that role breathe. The writing around her in that performance, it didn't allow us to see her craft. So I don't think there's a world in which Taraji would have gotten a nomination. But yeah. All right, so that's editing. As Sinners, F1, One Battle After Another, um, Frankenstein, okay, F1, Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners. What am I missing? Surratt. That fifth one could have been anything. It didn't have to be Surratt, but it's not bad that it's Surratt. This is a category in which 100% could go to One Battle After Another. Because between F1 and One Battle After Another, the big sounds, big clear explosions, all those different things, those are the things that win awards for sound. I'm actually, even though I haven't seen Fire and Ash, I'm actually surprised that Avatar's not here. But F1, One Battle After Another, Sinners, definitely. But there were moments where they're playing with sound differently, and I don't know that that's going to be as impressive as F1 and One Battle. That's just me. That's just my thoughts. My quick thoughts on that. Okay, they're going to leave the women roles and Best Picture and Best Director. Oh, we still have visual effects too. I only have 4 minutes left. Visual effects, Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World Rebirth, The Lost Bus, Sinners. I'm saying Sinners like I'm shocked. Wait. Y'all look at this. Okay. Avatar, Fire and Ash, visual effects. Yes, absolutely. F1. Yes, absolutely. Jurassic World Rebirth. I am surprised to see you here. Hello. Welcome to the party. Not really that surprised. Lost Bus. I have to rewatch Lost Bus. I watched it as a screener, and my copy of my screener was not a good copy. So I did not get to fully appreciate some of the visual aspects. I don't know what happened, but my copy was not that great. I was able to do enough with it to get like the gist, but it wasn't a great copy. Sinners. Oh yeah, Sinners. Visual effects. 2 Michael B. Jordans. Yeah. Okay, so visual effects. So what's next? Cinematography. Frankenstein is going to get it. One Battle is going to get it. Sinners is going to get it. Marty Supreme. Let me know. Y'all let me know in the comments if y'all think Marty Supreme and cinematography. Oh, wait. Go back. Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another. Sinners. Train Dreams. Okay. Train Dreams, gorgeous. Gorgeous. Not a problem with that at all. Marty Supreme. I mean, I can't say no, but I'm trying to think, what did I have in this category? Because I feel like it wasn't Marty Supreme. Was it Hamnet? Am I con was it Hamnet that I had in this category over Marty Supreme? Because it's Chloe. Mm. Train Dreams. Yes, absolutely. All right, so where are we now? Timmy. Okay, hold hold a second, y'all. Okay, I'm back. I had to steal my husband's water. Okay, we are at leading actor. Timotei. We knew it was going to be Timotei. Leonardo. Ethan Hawke and Blue Moon. Wagner Moore. Wagner Moore might be our sleeper agent here. And Michael B. Jordan. Not Michael A. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan. Let me know in the comments. Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. It's like I swallowed some dust or something. As your pick for leading actor, is this the year that Timotei gets it? Your vote is for Wagner. Now listen, I am not one to hop on the train of Michael deserves it over Timotei. I don't know that. So it was one of the best performances I've seen of Michael. But I don't like Timotei in those kinds of roles, because when I see him in those types of roles, it feels like he's not acting. But also, I feel like I can see him acting. Does that make sense? It's like I'm watching him act, but it feels like he's not acting because it feels like too much of what he knows. But also, I feel like I can see him pulling from everything he knows in order to tap into that. So I like him in other things more than I liked him in Marty. Leonardo, I feel like Leonardo got a check to not do too much. He got a check to not do too much. But I love me some Leo, old school Leo, especially. Um, I mean, it's a travesty that that man still only has one Oscar. But Wagner Mora, I feel like that's our sleeper agent and the secret agent. So there you go. And Darfalina says her vote is for Wagner. So, but I am happy that Michael did get his nomination, because for now and ever he can be known as an Oscar nominated actor. Um, if he gets it for Sinners, I won't be mad, because without Sinners, I don't think Michael has to keep creating his roles. I don't think he gets the offers of of continued better work if it's not for Ryan. Like, Ryan has given him the best work of his life. And I think without having this role, does the door continue to stay open for him? I don't know. Ethan. Blue Moon didn't sit with me. So I have to go back and look at just his performance again and ask myself again if I think that he has a battle in this. But Wagner Moore, I'm not mad at that. I don't know. Is it Timmy's year to win? He's very talented. Does he then dump his Kardashian? That's another good question. Let me know your vote on that one in the comments. Does he lose his Kardashian once he wins? Actress in a leading role. Okay, we already know it's going to be Jessie Buckley for Hamnet. It's going to be oh my goodness. Well, let's just see. You said it's Timmy's year? It's Tim's year? Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Kate Hudson for Song Sung Blue. Renata Rinsmed for Sentimental Value. And who was the last one? I went fast. It went too fast for me. It's Jessie Buckley's year to win, guys. Emma Stone. Okay, so here we have our nominations for leading actress, and I think we all can the class all say together who's going to win on the count of three? 1, 2, 3. Jessie Buckley. We all know this. We're going to all be in the room together. We're going to all hear them say Jessie Buckley. If Jessie Buckley doesn't win, it would be the greatest upset. It would be the greatest upset. Happy for Wumi, Michael Delroy, well-deserved nominations. Agreed. I do wish that they had. I'm glad the Golden Globes does have an award for new talent, because it is so hard for new talent to get any attention at the Oscars. And of course, with the upset with Sinners, is it Michael's role? Is it Miles's role? Michael is the more well-known name. He's going to get the top billing. So if I Lied to You wins, then Miles gets an Oscar because he's literally the lead singer on that song. So yes, great to see Delroy. I want Delroy to win one. I can't help it. I can't help it. I want Delroy to win one. Go back and watch Crooklyn. Go back and watch Five Bloods. That man is so talented. Yes, LMFAO. After Timmy wins, he will be dumping his Kardashian bride. I am calling it now, okay? Because then his currency will be even higher. I shouldn't say that. Wagner will be a massive upset, but won't hate it. And I think that's the thing, right? That is the thing. If Tim doesn't win and if Michael doesn't win, nobody would bat an eye at Wagner Moore if he wins. No wicked noms and or Rock and Emily Blunt. Okay. This is a conversation I want to have with y'all in the comments. Let me know what y'all think in the chat. Oh my gosh. So Timmy got a lot of hate for last year's speech when he talked about, like at the Golden Globes, for like how bad he wants it, how he wants to be considered one of the greats, all the things, right? He got all the hate for that. But it's very clear that Dwayne wants that as well. He wants to so be taken seriously as an actor. And it's so funny because in the early 2000s, when he first got into acting, you could tell that he was trying to go for more serious roles. Then he fell into the action and was basically doing all the action team up movies with him and Kevin Hart and all those kinds of movies and all of the Disney franchises and things like that. And now the pendulum is swinging to where he wanted to again take on this very serious role so that he could be taken seriously. But then he goes and he does this live action Moana and insists on being Maui instead of letting Maui be played by a young actor, so that one, that dynamic between Maui and like Moana, it's not like you also have a new actress playing Moana, so why not have a new actor playing Maui? It's a thing. And it's like I feel like he's almost, I want to say, being punished for it, but I don't think he gets to be as like, we don't let him. He couldn't do what Timmy did, if that makes any sense. That's my theory. That's my theory. Yep, Jesse is definitely gonna win. I won't be mad if Emma wins though. No, because Emma Stone ate down in Begonia. I'm not gonna lie, she ate that role down. Okay, but I think because she's been on this block before. Like it's Jesse. If Jesse loses, to me, there have been at least two candidates in each of these categories that I could be like, yeah, that I want this one to win, but yeah, Jesse. But Rose did her thing in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. Yes, she did. Delroy better win, like Leslie said. Delroy over Del Toro this year. Look at us, Darfelina, leaving the cottage to socialize. Yeah, I mean, just hearing the interviews and learning about the choices Delroy made and fought for in Sinners just made me admire him more. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, this is my best picture and director.
Achievement in directing. The nominees are Chloe Zhao Hamnet,
There's not a
Josh
water
Safdie, Barbie Supreme,
Ryan.
Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another, Joachim Trier, Sentimental Values,
Robert Judison.
and Ryan Coogler, Sinners.
Now listen, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to be naive and say, okay, I'm sorry, I messed that up. I'm not going to be naive and say that Ryan is going to win. I'm not going to play myself like that, okay? Because The Color Purple 1985 had 11 nominations and won zero. 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 Even Steven Spielberg, the director who Hollywood loves, went home with nothing. Went home with nothing. And we barely talk about the movies that were in the categories with that. We don't talk about a lot of those movies today. Those movies aren't on anybody's best 100 list today. But you know what is on the best 100 list? The Color Purple. Sure enough, it's on AFI's the best 100 list. So I'm not naive enough to think, in my best, like Debbie, that Ryan is going to get it, because we know that these things also go in order of like who they think deserves it. So it's going to probably be PTA. I'm just going to gird my loins for it being PTA. But if Ryan hadn't got the nomination, and Ryan got the nomination, okay, I'm happy. I'm happy now. Chloe Zhao, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I don't think this is Chloe's year to win. Been there, done that. And also, I do feel like, now this is the one caveat. And Slant, let me know if I'm wrong. To me, traditionally looking at winners in direction, they do typically award directors of original films a little bit more. Now, the reason why this would work against Ryan is because the big category that Sinners falls under is horror, and they don't award horror. But they do like original works in this category. Typically, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, looking at the list of like all the best directors, typically it is direction of original, at least in the last like 20-30 years. So I just feel like it's going to be PTA. even though it hurts me because PTA deserves to have an Oscar, but not for this movie, in my opinion. PTA could have gotten it for two other movies I can think of off the top of my head other than this one, but I think the Academy will say, oh, it's his time. And I don't think that they'll say that, that's not going to be the thing for, for anyone else here. So Chloe deserves it. I won't be mad if Kugler wins. I will be pissed if PTA wins another undeserved award. So yeah, I mean, that's where we are. I think it's going to be I think it's going to be PTA. Because Chloe's already won one. So Chloe's already won. They'll say Chloe has one. Do the Safdies have one? Why am I not? Did they win one for Uncut Gems? Because I cannot remember. No. They didn't. They didn't. I was tripping for a second. I was like, could Josh get one? But I think if we look at who they have promoted as like being at the helm, I just haven't seen them really pushing Josh in the way that like the cast have really rallied around Chloe and Paul and Ryan. I feel like they're in it's their 3 awards and Chloe has one, so it'll be between PTA and Ryan. And I just feel like the Academy is going to give it to PTA. But, and I will say this. It would be nice for Ryan to win this, but I don't know if they will punish him for not taking a seat at the table and taking on the Academy. Thoughts on 28 Years and Bone Temple? I haven't gone and seen it yet. I haven't. Years was snubbed in cinematography, in my opinion. Was it in contention for this year? Because I feel like since it just released and it did not do any kind of limited release before the end of the year at all, was it in I'm trying to think, is it in contention for this past year, or are they gonna try to push it for next year? But I didn't get a chance to see Bone Temple yet. I was supposed to go see it, and then my kid got a fever and ruined my plans for going to see it, and so I didn't get a chance to see it. Oh, the one that came out last year. Could have gotten cinematography. Yeah, it just dropped this week. That's why I was confused. I didn't know which one you were talking about because I was going to go see it on Tuesday because I had Tuesday as a teacher work day, and then my kid got sick, so he had to stay home with me and ruin all of my like go to the movies and spend like 4 hours at the movies by myself. I was going to go see Dead Man's Wire and Bone Temple, and that did not happen. And now we have Snowmageddon, so now it could be even longer before I could go back to the theater. Not fun at all, but could 28 Years Later have gotten cinematography? I will say this. The film was, there were moments where I thought the cinematography was great, and then there were some moments where I thought that the cinematography was not as nice. Now, I haven't seen Bone Temple yet, so I can't attest to this. I do know that Nia DaCosta is known for working with great collaborators with cinematography, and I have liked her work, so I would not be surprised if Bone Temple fares better in cinematography. But there were points in 28 Years Later that I felt like the cinematography was a little weaker, and we already know the Academy does not like horror anyway, so it already is like not really wanting to have to give Sinners all of its accolades, but because it doesn't solely fit under the horror genre, they can at least like say, okay, well, we have to kind of give this some, and it just made too much money. Like, we have to kind of give this some attention. I don't see them doing that for 28 years. But maybe for Bone Temple, we'll see how that fares out. Years was very weird and experimental, not for everyone, but I personally loved it. Hope your kids feel better soon. Thank you. All right, so we just did Best Director. Best Picture. And Best Picture has this big category. So we know we're gonna get um we're gonna get Sinners, we're gonna get OBAA, we're gonna get Hamnet, we're gonna
Ed Guiney and Andrew Lowe,
get
Yorgos Lanthimos, Emma Stone, and Lars Knudsen, producers.
F1, Chad Omen,
Producers.
Okay, we have Frankenstein.
Liza Marshall, Pippa Harris, Nicholas Gonda, Steven Spielberg, and Sam Mendes, producers.
Best Picture nominee.
Eli Bush, Ronald Bronstein, Josh Safdie, Anthony Koutagis, and Timothy Chalamet, producers.
Oh, I paused. I did not realize Timotei was a producer on Marty Supreme. Now, this bodes a very interesting question, because if the Academy decides not to give Best Picture to Sinners and gives it to Marty Supreme in order to not give Timotei the Oscar, because then he would get an Oscar as a producer. Interesting. Possibly could happen. All right, so now we have One Battle After Another. We knew
Sarah Murphy and Paul Thomas Anderson,
people loved it for some reason.
The Secret Agent. Emily Leclau, producer.
I
Sentimental Value, Maria Eckerhoff and Andrea Bertinson Otmar, producers.
Thank you so much, my mega kid.
Zinzi Kugler, Sev Ohanian, and Ryan Coogler, producers.
Sev Ohanian and Ryan Coogler, producers. Okay, we got Train Dreams. We happy to see Train Dreams here. Train Dreams is a beautiful film. Beautiful film.
McMahon, Teddy Schwarzman, Janowitz, Ashley Schlafer, and Michael Heimler, producers.
Congratulations to all of this year's
All right, so, and I missed Sentimental Value. Maybe I should finally watch that tonight. So we have F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value. Now, I do feel like this is one of those times where it's really going to come down to what film does everyone watch if we can get all of the voting bodies to watch all of the movies. Then it comes down to PR and who's keeping the name of the movie in front of people. I don't feel like Netflix has been doing that for Frankenstein the way that they probably should. And also, with everything going on with the streaming, could the Academy choose not to even really kind of push Frankenstein just simply because it doesn't want to continue to support streaming in that way? Because remember, they did that with Roma. And here we are now in a conversation where Netflix is looking to buy Warner Brothers. So I don't know. Begonia, I liked Begonia. I did not like Poor Things, but I did not like Poor Things because I did not like the book, and I had problems with the narrative of Poor Things. The boring, sexy yesterday trope, it gets to be a bit too much. Hamnet, I think also the emotion that people leave with, Hamnet is going to make everybody cry. and they're going to feel that sense of catharsis that they cried. And Steven Spielberg is attached to that. You've got Chloe, you've got Steven. Chloe did win Golden Globes, so I think it could be Hamnet. I think could it be Marty? I just feel like it can't be Marty. I just don't see a world in which it could be Marty, not just because of the amount of money it's made or lack thereof, but just because I feel like in the conversation with Marty, it's Hamnet. And between Marty and Hamnet, you still give it to Hamnet. Then we have one battle after another and Sinners. And so I think the conversation really is between OBAA and Sinners. Sinners should win everything because everyone saw that movie. Let's giving OBAA its accolades to the fact that a lot of people saw that movie, not everybody, but a lot of people saw that movie, and those have been the two movies that have kept film in everyone's mouth this year. Those two movies have kept everyone talking about film this year. Between those two and K-pop Demon Hunters, I feel like if you were to reduce this year in film to those three movies, it would be K-pop Demon Hunters, Sinners, and OBAA. And I feel like there's really nobody who could argue with me about that. That's literally like what it has been. So I would love Sinners to win. I would love Sinners to win Best Picture. Also, again, even if people had fun with OBAA, which I could see elements of why people would like OBAA, there are narrative problems that I can't. We're going to talk about that later. So yeah, I do hope that it's Sinners. I think it is going to be between one of those two. I think it would be an upset if it were anything else. I think we would have a Moonlight situation if it were anything else. I just hope that they call the right name on the card at the end of the day. So yeah, that is my very long video reacting to the nominations for the Oscars. So everyone gird your loins because award season hasn't ended yet and we have to make it to the Oscars. So hopefully this gave you opportunity to like look at what you need to still watch, place your bets, okay? But don't spend all your money, okay? Betting is not legal everywhere, so make sure that you are betting legally wherever you are. But thank you guys so much for all your support on this very impromptu live stream that I decided to do very last minute. Mainly because I just rather talk to you guys about the nominations. I didn't want to just hear about it on social media. And I felt like it would be funny, you guys watching me in real time, try to choke at the same time that I was reviewing all of this. But I'm going to get ready to leave now because I got to go make some sloppy joes for my family. Take care of yourselves. And I hope you guys stay safe in the winter apocalypse that we are having. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks, guys. Bye. Take care. See you guys. This is